Welcome back to Rekt Radio, the only show that looks into the crypto abyss and sees a beautiful sunrise. I'm Sunny, and folks, the old giants of the blockchain are starting to wake up, and it is a glorious sight to behold.
And I'm Cole, here to remind you that when giants wake up after a long nap, they're usually cranky and tend to step on things. Let's analyze the footprints before we all get crushed.
It's not crushing coal, it's a paradigm shift, and it's happening right before our eyes. We just saw one of the biggest, most mythic events imaginable. 8 wallets from the Satoshi era, dormant for 14 long years, just moved 80,000 Bitcoin. This is incredible.
Incredible or incredibly terrifying, Sonny? This is a multi-billion-dollar ghost suddenly rattling his chains in the attic. Why now? What does this ancient whale know that we don't? This isn't a moment for celebration. It's a moment for extreme caution.
Caution, Cole. This is a masterclass in long-term thinking. This whale didn't just move the coins, they moved them from old, vulnerable P2PK addresses to new, super secure SegWit addresses. This is a security upgrade of the highest order. They're hardening their assets, likely to protect them against the distant threat of quantum computing. This isn't a panic move, it's a sophisticated player future-proofing their $9 billion treasury. It's the ultimate vote of confidence in the longevity of the network.
Confidence. Let's trace the flow of funds, shall we? Shortly after this security upgrade, a huge chunk of that Bitcoin, nearly 30,000 of them, started moving to an institutional trading desk at Galaxy Digital. And what happened next? 9,000 BTC were sold, likely triggering that 5% drop we just saw from the recent all-time high. This isn't a long-term hodler quietly securing their keys. This is a massive, unknown entity waking up and immediately starting to liquidate. This introduces a colossal amount of new, unpredictable selling pressure into the market.
Taking a little profit after a 4,800,000% gain is hardly a panic sale. Anyone would do that. The core action here is the strategic upgrade. And let's not get distracted by the noise like those bizarre legal notice messages someone spammed the chain with. That's just blockchain graffiti, trolls trying to stir up trouble. The real story is a massive holder preparing for the next 100 years of Bitcoin's existence.
That noise is part of the story. You have scammy messages, speculation that the owner might be Roger Ver, who was just released on bail, and a giant sell order hitting a major desk. You're painting this as a calm, strategic decision. I see it as a black box of chaos that just opened up. We have no idea about their motives, their timeline, or how much more they plan to sell. That isn't confidence. It's a massive cloud of uncertainty.
But the why leads to an even more bullish point, the quantum threat. The fact that major holders are thinking about it and that the network provides them with tools to defend against it is amazing. It shows the ecosystem is mature. More than that, the core developers are already on the case. People like Jameson Lopp have proposed plans to tackle this head-on, protecting the network from future attacks. We are watching Bitcoin's immune system work in real time, identifying a potential threat and building antibodies years before the disease ever arrives.
Antibodies? The leading proposal you're celebrating involves freezing and phasing out wallets vulnerable to quantum attacks. Do you realize what that means? They are proposing to potentially lock up 25% of the entire Bitcoin supply, including the coins believed to belong to Satoshi Nakamoto himself. That's not a vaccine. That's a plan to amputate a quarter of the network's body.
It's a proposal. It's the start of a conversation. It shows that the hard problems are being taken seriously. The network will find an elegant, decentralized consensus just like it always does. This is how you build something that can survive for generations. You don't ignore threats, you confront them.
Confront them by potentially violating the most sacred rule of Bitcoin, that your assets are immutable and censorship resistant. The chaos and infighting that a freeze proposal would cause could tear the community apart and trigger a disastrous hard fork. They say a real quantum threat is maybe 5 to 20 years away, but the solution they're floating could damage the network right now. That's a cure that sounds way worse than the disease.
I think it's a sign of a network that's robust enough to have these conversations. But let's see how the market is digesting all this. Let's pull up the hard data, the technical analysis from TradingView.
Please, let's escape the theoretical future threats and look at the cold, hard reality of the chart right now. What are the indicators telling us?
They are telling a story of profound and powerful stability. I have the one-day chart open, and it is a sea of calm. The overall summary is neutral. The oscillators, which measure momentum, are also neutral. And the moving averages, which track the underlying trend, are also neutral.
And you're about to tell me that a triple neutral reading is somehow bullish, aren't you?
Exactly, Cole. This is the definition of healthy consolidation. All the panic sellers have been washed out, all the weak hands have folded. The market has absorbed the news and found a perfect point of balance. It's coiling up like a spring. The longer a market stays neutral and calm like this, the more explosive the eventual breakout is. This isn't apathy, it's the quiet accumulation of energy before a massive launch.
It's the quiet of a ghost town. You're mistaking a lack of selling for the presence of buying. They are not the same thing. This market is holding its breath because it's terrified to move. It's telling you it has no direction and no leadership. In my experience, when a market looks over the edge of a cliff and just freezes like this, it's not because it's planning to fly. It's because it's tired of standing. This isn't a launch pad. It's a trapdoor waiting to spring.
That's all for this episode of Rekt Radio. I see a network proving its resilience with forward-thinking players and developers building for the future. That quiet in the market is the sound of strength. Stay bullish.
And I see a new $9 billion risk, an existential threat with no good solution, and a market that is utterly catatonic. Don't mistake a flat line for a floor. Be careful out there. You've been listening to Rekt Radio.